Welcome everyone, my name is Jeff St Laurent and this is the Tuesday Live show. I'm thrilled for today's show and I hope you are too because we got some great information. Today we're going to be talking about how to grow your business during rough circumstances or hard circumstances. And honestly, like it's not an exciting topic. However, the power of what we're going to be doing is great in terms of the content, in terms of the advice I'm going to be giving you, because we're in a time, an unprecedented time in our world where everyone's going through very similar circumstances. And obviously everything's different for everybody, what they're going through, but the core reason why it's affecting us is the same. And so we bond together, but this is a great opportune time for us, especially as coaches. And I want us to make sure that we're aware of what we can do with that so we can make the most of this. So I do record all of these shows. I do put them on my website, sellingcoaching.com, in the university. So I got a lot of great stuff there. I help coaches transition to a full-time business. So right on the homepage there, I have where you can enter your name and email address. I've got a great resource called Launching Your Full-Time Coaching Business, the First 3 Vital Steps. So when you enter your name and email, not only can you get an opportunity to get that resource, it's an audio resource, but that's going to put you in my email community, and that's going to give me, and that's going to give you an opportunity to get in my email community to not only get great information, but you can also get learn how I communicate with my audience on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, so that you can understand how that works for you and you can do that for yourself. So with that being said, I got some cool stuff going on in terms of a challenge that I'm doing. So before I get going, if you are watching this live show, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a link in there for you. I'm launching a 14-day program where it's for coaches, and I'm launching it in a couple weeks, and I'm going to be doing a program where I'm breaking down all the peripheral aspects of your business, like website and things like that. We're going to break it down to the fundamental mechanics of what it is like to get your message out to the world, follow up with those people, and then get you paid and get you paying clients. So check that out. Pre-registration is open. It's put you on the priority waiting list for when I launch and open this up. So if that's something that you're interested in, click that link to learn more and just enter your name and email. That's going to give you and just put you on the pre-registration. So with that being said, let's jump into the topic today, and that's how to grow your coaching business during hard circumstances. Now, here's the deal, right? So right now in the world, there's the coronavirus, oil's going crazy. The stock market has literally had to date like a 30 plus % drop in record time, meaning a short time. The market hasn't been this low since, I forget when, 2008, I think it is, something like that. So the point is that, economically and then circumstantially, the fear that's going on in the world right now is it's crazy. It's crazy. People are losing their jobs. And we don't even know when we're going to be able to get back in and do the things that we do. Or how long this can actually last before there's maybe a total economic collapse, right? This is all the fear-based stuff. And so what I'm hearing a lot of coaches, as I'm talking to people, as you know, I talk with a lot of coaches, right? I hear a lot of coaches and things that they're saying, and a lot of people, like even some of my clients are like, let's stop, let's postpone until this is done. And then some are the exact opposite, and they're going like gangbusters. If I can even, is that still a saying? But they're going nuts with this stuff, and they're like, I want to seize the opportunity here. But the point is that there's a lot of people who are putting everything on hold, and not just coaches, but everything. And so my message today with coaches is that, no matter what's going on in the world, whether it's your world on a personal basis or the world in general, circumstantially, economically, things like that, you have a choice to make right now. And this is really important. You have a choice to make based on how you're going to move forward with this. And everyone's moving forward. It's just what you're moving forward with, meaning, are you actually doing something in your business? Are you kind of pretending to do something? Or are you just kind of putting things on pause, right? And so here's my philosophy is, when I launched my coaching business in 2003, 04. 04 was when I officially went, but in 03 I was going through coaching school. I was kind of getting some clients. So 03, 04, That's when I was kind of like maybe some of you who are launching it now. And I don't know if you remember the SARS virus. And honestly, I don't remember too much about it. I just know that it affected the economy, and it wasn't like this virus is right now affecting the world on such a big level, but it was definitely a threat, and it was something to be scared about. Like that was going on, and fast forward 07, 08, really through 2009, that was the last recession we had, and again, over the last 11 years, we've had the longest bull market that we've had. Things have been slowly getting better, but that was a really hard time. And I remember in my business, from 04 to 08 or so, I'm in it 4 years. I created success. It was a hard time. It was a hard time economically, and it was a hard time within my business. And then from there's been a lot of things in the economy, but also even personally, like I had gone through a divorce. Even in the past 2-3 years, I've gone through 2 knee surgeries. I'm 43 years old, but my body's changed. So I've gone through a lot of personal things like that. Some custody things with my son, and I'm sharing some, big bullet points along the way, whether it's out of my control circumstantially, or even sometimes personally, sometimes out of my control, but regardless of that, there's been some really challenging things that I've gone through. And my point is not to focus on some of those things, but the point is to show you through all of that, I've still had my business. And I've had to create some really tough decisions as to what I was going to do over the last 15 years. And that's not even mentioning all the other things that are big and small along the way that have happened, as we all have in our life. It's real. But all the things that have happened where I've had to create big decisions, micro decisions on what to do in order to move forward. Like even as of late, do I sell my stocks? Do I sell my investments in panic like everyone else is? Do I ride it out? Do I reinvest? I mean, how does it all work, right? Those are big, major decisions, which are all, they're business related because it deals with income and finances, and it's our future, and it impacts how we operate our business. So, when we're faced with these things, we have these decisions to create. And here I want to share with you some of the kind of philosophies I've developed and the things that I've learned having been through these big ups and downs on personal fronts and economical fronts and things like that have allowed me to successfully get through those. So you can not only successfully get through what we're going through right now, but whatever you're going through in your personal world now, or what comes of, let's say, something like this, there's going to be after effects, 2 months from now, whatever it is, when this virus is gone or however long it takes, and people are back in work and whatever happens as a result, there's going to be the aftermath, just like 9/11, right? There was what happened, and right now that's happening. Okay, but now what happens, when it's over? There's a rebuilding phase. There's going to be a rebuilding phase, which is going to take years. It could take decades. We don't know that. But the point is, I want to give you some thoughts today so you can get through that. So in years to come, all that starts today. It starts today with what you choose. And the way I look at it, so for those of you who are looking to launch your business, in those starting phases, and I'd say you're in your starting phases. If you're in your first 18 to 24 months, you're in the starting phases. Like, that's the reality of it. So if you're in your first 18, 24 months, I like to think about it like this, and this has worked for me. And I say this to some of my clients right now, is some people, especially those of you that think that you're postponing what you're doing now, or now's not a good time because, oh, well, I can't get in front of people with meetings. I can't network, face-to-face wise, or the excuse or rationalization or the rational lies we tell ourselves about social media is, oh, well, it's bombarded and everyone's on, and they've got too much to worry about and they're stressed about, or now they're out of a job, or who's going to spend money and hire me or do this course that I'm doing, right? Those are all lies you're telling yourself. Like, who's told you that people aren't going to find what you're doing, or that what you're going to put out there isn't of value to them now? Just because they don't have a job doesn't mean they're not buying anything. Next thing you know, they're online shopping, spending thousands of dollars on Amazon or buying other stuff, and they're not going to buy anything. Well, who's to say that, right? You're making generalizations, but you're creating all of these rational lies, and you're rationalizing, and you're making excuses as to why you're not going to do anything or slow down. Well, let me ask you this. If you're starting off, well, what would happen if you started your business 2 years ago, 1 year ago, or 15 years ago like I did, and something like this happens? Are you going to just stop? Are you going to slow down? Are you going to not do it or pause everything just because all this is going on? Like, is that what I would do? Like, I've been doing this 15, 16 years, and am I just be like, oh, well, the economy's tough right now. People are not going to be watching this live show, or no one's going to be reading my emails because they're bombarded with whatever. I'm going to stop. Like, hopefully that sounds crazy to you. No, you're not. Well, you could, but why would you? Like, especially if that's your full-time income, right? So you're doing that. Like, at that point, you don't have a choice. You got to figure out a way to keep moving forward. So how can you take that same philosophy and use that with your business right now? Or asking a different question, like, well, why would you not continue on, or why would you not start now, right? So why is it any different? It's the same circumstances in that you're in no matter what. So if you started it before and you would keep going through it, well, why wouldn't you just launch it now, right? It doesn't even make any sense. You can make it make sense with rationalizations. However, that's, again, the decisions you create today are going to impact what your future is tomorrow, no matter what happens with this virus and with the economy. And at the end of the day, we all know it's going to get better. The great part about being at the bottom or close to the bottom or bouncing along the bottom, and yeah, we could have an economic meltdown, and you know what? The stock market could drop another 50%, right? But at some point, we hit the bottom. And the great part about hitting the bottom, no matter what that does to you and how bleak situation is that, guess what? The only way we have to go is up, and it improves. And does it take time? Absolutely. But another thing is, the great thing is time flies, doesn't it? Right? Time flies whether you're having fun or you're not having fun, right? So the point is that you're going to start to get better. The economy is going to start to get better. People are going to start to get better. And yes, there's going to be casualties along the way in all senses of what that word means, but we're going to grow and we're going to get better. And so the decisions on where you go and how you grow are created right then today, right? So there's that mindset of saying, all right, well, if I had my business going, well, why wouldn't I just trudge through it as opposed to just stopping and starting? And the same thing goes for you, that those of you that have been doing your business for a while, hopefully you're in that mindset of like, oh, geez, I've got to keep going through this. And here's what I found, having gone through tough times like this, especially economically or fear-based times where the world or things, there's a lot of uncertainty. And like I said, I've been through, economy crashes, things like that, viruses, things like that with my business, is at the end of the day, will it impact your results? Now, I can't emphatically say yes or no. I will say this, more than likely it will. And whether it does or it doesn't, or especially if it does in some capacities, because it's going to in some capacities, you might have to work harder or longer or do more of the same things to get a similar result as you got before. In fact, you might have to work a whole lot harder to get less of a result than you previously got. And if you haven't gotten any results, you might have to just work even harder just even to get a result in the first place. So what? So what? Does that matter? Like, oh, poor you, right? Or poor me. Does it matter? Like, at the end of the day, we're doing this because we're passionate about it. We want to help people. And there's more opportune time than there is now for us to help people. But at the end of the day, there's, on the personal side, it's like this is our livelihood. This is what we do. So we got to find a way to make things work. And that's what we do as humans. And so this, in fact, then brings one of the greatest opportunities for us as coaches, because the world needs us now. In the past week and a half, as I've had my mentor coaching clients, for those of you that have been in that spot, I've been detailing things that they can do, and setting them up with, hey, let's launch a 3-week group coaching course, or let's do a paid a webinar or a live event or something free that we can do that leads to a small group coaching or a paid something. I'm being kind of general, but I'm working them through the specifics and the detail of what they can do, and we're doing it in the next small amount of time, so they can kind of not think about it and have to move forward with it and put it out there and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. In light of the circumstances, a lot of people are experiencing this. I can help you with this. So I put together this. It's going to start in a week and a half. You're in and you're out. It's $99. It's $100, whatever it is, who's in, and maybe getting 2, 3, a handful of people, maybe a dozen people to do that with them. And you know what? They get, 3, 4, 5 people. Maybe it's $400-500 they get. And then on the back end of that, maybe 1 or 2 people hires them as a coach. Whatever they charge there, that could turn into a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 month just from seizing the opportunity. And this is all just about creating revenue, right? It's how can we help people? But you're a business. You have solutions, right? I don't know if you look at the stock market. I've been looking at the stock market. I have investments, right? The only stock that I've seen, there's some others out there, but Amazon's going up. Guess who's hiring? Amazon's hiring. Other people laying off, other companies are hiring. So there's opportunities within that. There's opportunities to invest and make money, right? And the whole point is that just because everything else might look bleak in situations, it doesn't mean there's opportunity. And also, just so you know, as a coach, it doesn't mean you're taking advantage. Some people are like, should I charge for this? If I'm doing something now, people, going through hard times, I feel guilty charging. Like, no, that's your own stuff and your own relationship with money. Like, if you're saying that, then we've got to help you understand the whole premise of putting something valuable out in the world. When something is valuable that some people need, people will pay for it. The reason why, Lysol was selling on Amazon for $200 for a bottle, and I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but I don't look into crap like that. I just hear things and go, oh, okay, whatever. I don't put much energy into it. But let's say that were true, or hand sanitizer or toilet paper, in times like this and people freak out, it's overbought and you can't find it anywhere. And all of a sudden someone says, hey, I'm selling toilet paper for, $20 a roll. Well, you know what? If you needed it that badly, guess what? You might pay $20 a roll for toilet paper, meaning there's value. And that might be a situation where people are taking advantage, right? That's not a great example like that, but I'm highlighting the premise of value. So when there's value for something, people buy. So if you're putting something out there that's valuable, absolutely you deserve to charge. Like it would be cheating yourself. It would be cheating people if you didn't charge something, because you're helping them. And if you're helping someone with something, there's value in that. And that's the mindset I want you to have with this is where's the value? Where's the opportunity of value that you can provide to the market? That's what business is. It's an exchange of value. As an entrepreneur, we get paid for the value we bring to the market. That's the law of compensation. I learned that from Jim Rohn, one of my mentors, years ago. So we've got to become more valuable. How do we do that? We've got to take a look at is what can I contribute now? And the thing about this is these circumstances, if it's causing you to do this, which I'm encouraging you to do this, great. However, when things are different circumstantially, personally or circumstantially, externally, it shouldn't matter, right? So the attention you're giving to your investments, because, oh my God, things are going crazy. The attention you're giving to your finances, the attention you're giving to your business, the attention you're giving to you fill in the blank, your spouse, your children, your home, your job, whatever. Here's a philosophy I want to give you, is it shouldn't be any different when things are flatline, meaning right now they're all over the place. They're up, they're down, they're uncertain, And so, oh my God, what should I do? Should I sell my investments? Should I do this? Oh my God, what should I do with my job? Or how are we going to handle this? They shouldn't be any different when things are a flatline, when things are normal, when things are just, average. It shouldn't be any different. You should give it just as much attention. I always pay attention to my investments every day. The first thing I do is I open my stock app and I look, okay, what's going on in the markets? What's going on in the markets? What's happening in the world? Should I invest? Should I pull back? Should I no matter what's going on, right? So now when I get to something like this, I don't get to a panic mode. Meaning I could sell my investments prior to this happens, which I did most of anyways, which is good. So I'm safe, right? So I'm good because I pay attention. So when I get to that spot, I don't freak out. So I'm paying attention to my business and I'm giving my business and I'm nurturing this all the way, all the time. So when something like this happens, I don't have to panic because I can take care of myself financially, because I have built an audience, because I have people that are there. Even some of my newer mentor coaching clients, the ones that I'm helping create these 3-week programs that, in these times, those people that have been doing their emails every week consistently, they've been doing a weekly live show, nurturing that audience, whether they've gotten a client out of it or not, right? They've been slowly growing their audience, being in front of people, giving value. They're set up perfectly now to say, hey, guess what? I'm offering something in a time like this, in light of the circumstances. I put together the 3-week group coaching program. Here's what I'm going to help you with. Here's the details. You enter you out. They can do that. Doesn't mean if they're not doing that, they couldn't do it. What I'm saying, they've set themselves up for that success because they've been tending to the things they need to do consistently when things are normal, and they've nurtured their audience. So now they're not just coming out of the blue with an offer, which might strike people as like, oh, now you're just trying to take advantage of it. Whereas now they're like, you know what? You've been nurturing me all this time, and I've been paying attention to you. And now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to do something with you because you know what? I do need this help, and I trust you, and I know you. That's the difference, is tend to your stuff before stuff happens where you're in a frantic panic. And you might be like, oh, Jeff, well, what does that mean for me now? Because maybe I'm in a panic and I haven't been doing that stuff. Okay, well, start now. So start now is just take a deep breath, get down and resonate, get to a flat nine effect, or, there's some uncertainties. So just your lows are high and your highs are low. So you get more of that flat line effect, and you're going to have some ups and downs, but you're not panicking. You're not going crazy with things. You're not doing things out of the ordinary in terms of freaking out or sporadically. I want you to move forward being well thought out and well put together. So you're doing things with control and intention. And so no matter what happens from a result standpoint, like I said, they might be slower and you have to do more work to get any result, if any at all. But the point is you're setting yourself up for the future. So you're there when people are ready, whether that means today or whether that means a month from now or a year from now. It's irrelevant. What happens is you're ready. They're ready because you've been consistent. And that's what I want you to do is take a deep breath, relax, and recognize the opportunity I have in front of you. And also, as much as I'll talk about moving with urgency and swiftness. You can move with urgency, but there's a difference between urgency and like hurrying and rushing. Hurrying and rushing isn't put together. It's sporadic. It's nerve-wracking. Urgency, there's a sense of confidence with it. There's a sense of poise and direction. And there's a sense of like, I know where I'm going and nothing's going to stop me to get there. You want to come along for the ride? If not, that's okay. But here's where I'm going. Like, that's the difference. And that's how I want you to come across now. Not like you're just patching things together and moving frantically. I want you to move with poise and urgency and confidence. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Before I go, if this is something that you really want some help with, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm putting together this awesome 14-day program where I'm actually wiping away all of the circumstantial peripheral items that you need in your business. And I'm going to be helping you focus over 14 days the fundamental mechanics. Literally, it's how do we get a strong message from our story? How do we create an offering so we understand and have confidence in what we're selling? How do we create an event and get ourselves out to the world to create an event? And then how do we follow up with leads from that event to actually get paying clients? And over the 14 days, I'm going to go over all that stuff. So if that's something that you want to be a part of or you want to learn more about, I have a link in the comments if you're watching this live. If you're not watching this live, simply go to my website, sellingcoaching.com, and I want you to go to the contact page and just fill that form out and say, hey, Jeff, tell me more about your 14-day program, or send me the link for your 14-day program. So I don't know when you're going to see this. I'm going to be running this on a consistent basis. We're going to be launching it, the first one, in mid-April. And registration is going to open up actually next week. So wherever you're at, check that out.